What's up, guys? I am not there today, but I'm still here today. So I never get a day off. Anyway, let's go over these questions. All right, night chapter 4. I'm looking at it, you're looking at it. Describe the German head of the tent at the beginning of the chapter. Okay, I underlined this word describe for a reason. So I want to describe him. The book describes him. So what I've done here, okay, I'm also on the text. If you read this, okay, it's pretty easy to understand exactly how this guy is described. Okay, it says our tent leader was a German, an assassin's face, fleshy lips, hands resembling wolf's paws. The camp's food had agreed with him. He could hardly move. He was so fat. So there's all those different adjectives there that describe that guy. So wolf's paws, fleshy lips, assassin's face. I don't really know what an assassin's face is. Maybe he looks like a killer. But he was a big boy too. Okay, so big guy. Lots of stuff to say about him. All right. All right. What items did the young assistant remember? There's our question, what? So I'm filling in the blank with those. It's a noun question. Okay, this one, adjective. This one, noun. But remember, I'm writing these in sentence format, not just filling in the blank. Okay, what items did the young assistant want from Ellie in exchange for staying with his father? Shoes. His shoes. Okay. But don't just say his shoes. Say, the young assistant wanted Ellie's shoes. It's easy. All right, how is it ironic? Now remember, this word, okay, means when something happens that you don't expect. Okay, so situational irony. Okay, something happens you don't expect. So it's ironic that Ellie doesn't give his shoes up, because later they're taken from him for nothing. In this one, okay, this guy wants his shoes to be able to stay with his father, to get something out of it. All right. Later he has to give them up for nothing. So it's ironic. It's funny. It's funny, not funny, haha, but funny like, oh, that figures. Okay, that Ellie's not going to part with him because he doesn't get anything this time. Okay, so think about if something happens that kind of would make you laugh. I gave the example of like if Usain Bolt, really, really good athlete, track athlete, fastest guy in the world, really good at walking probably, walked in our classroom, just tripped over his own feet, fell on his face right in front of all of us, we'd probably laugh. Or at least like, huh? Oh, like what happened there? That huh or the laugh part of that, that's our reaction. That's what irony is. Okay, so there's several different things in this chapter and several other things in the next chapter that deal with that same feeling. All right, number 4, what composer did Louis say that he was not allowed to play? It was Beethoven. And it was Beethoven because of Beethoven's being German. Okay, so they weren't allowed to play anybody German. All right, number 5, again, what did Uliak warn Ellie about concerning Edek the Capo? It was that he had fits of rage. Like he just all of a sudden just like started wailing on people, started beating people up. Okay, kind of like Coach Wood. Coach Wood has those sometimes. Sometimes that just happens. Like guys don't get in his way. All right, what is ironic about the appearance of the dentist? Or why was Ellie, sorry, I got a little off track there, summoned to the dentist? They wanted his gold crown, which is ironic, because Coach Eddie is getting a crown today. That's why I'm not here. So what a crown is, it's literally not like the thing that fits over here because you're like a king or a queen or something, but it's in your mouth. It's a tooth. It's like a fake tooth. Brush your teeth. Okay, I should have known that when I was like 7 or 8. I got that cavity, and now that I'm 40, I'm having to get a crown. It's not cheap. Not happy about it. Anyway, what's ironic about the appearance of the dentist? There's that word again. Ironic If it's ironic, that means it's a little bit funny. This is kind of funny, like funny gross. Okay, it's ironic that the dentist has rotten teeth. Okay, like I said yesterday, now this might not be the best thing to say, but if you go into a fitness instructor that's like $350, that's kind of funny. Like, how is that guy supposed to tell me how to work out and stuff if he's like that much overweight? That makes sense, right? Okay, dietitian, something like that. No. Okay. So a dentist that has rotten teeth, like, it's his job to take care of people's teeth. He can't even take care of his own teeth. No, thank you. Okay, what excuse did Ellie give the dentist? This is just he is you, you are him. Same kind of excuse that any teenager. I don't feel good. But it worked. Okay, it worked. He bought it. All right. What happened to the dentist and why? Okay, he was arrested. He was arrested because he was like stealing the teeth for himself. Okay, so he wasn't doing his job. He wasn't giving it to like the Germans and stuff like he was supposed to. He was, but not all of them. Like, he was keeping a little side hustle, side business with it. Okay, Ellie gets in the way for number 10 of Edek and is beaten. A little young girl comforts him. Retell the story how they met later after the war. Okay, this is a long question. Okay, retell the story. Okay, if you retell something, you're gonna have to write a little bit for this one. Okay, you don't have to like write the whole thing. Okay, but retell the story of how they met later after the war. Okay, the revelation. Okay, what a revelation is, like the big idea, like the oh. Okay, so he meets this girl as actually a woman, like when he's out of the concentration camp, like he's an adult guy. Meets her at this cafe, like later on in Paris. And when he meets her, he's like, I think that's, yeah. So he goes up to her, talks to her like, are you the girl did you used to work at this, electrical factory? And she's like, yeah. Asking all these different questions. Every time they ask her a question, she's like, yeah. And it's a little creepy. He's like, I'm that little boy that you talked to that was beaten that one day, Edek the Capo. Yeah. Okay, so it's a big thing. Like, it's a huge, like, coincidence, right? It's not like, it's an easy thing to, find somebody from the Holocaust, right, that you went through and, like, never seen again for 30 years, and all of a sudden, yeah, okay. But the revelation part of that, so what he doesn't even really have to ask her. He's like, I got a question for you. She's like, I know what you're going to ask. Am I Jewish? Okay, that's the revelation. That's the big idea, the big light bulb that goes off there. Okay, and she says, yes, I am Jewish, from an observant family that like signed some false papers and stuff. So her family, like, remember when we talked about earlier in the book where Ellie had all those chances to escape? Her family did that. His family didn't. So her family survived. His family didn't. Now, they both survived, but Ellie, remember, is the only one in his family that survived. Okay, so it's a little bit of a, if they would have only done what her family had done, okay, that's part of that revelation too. But what you need here, okay, you just need to retell the story just a little bit. In your own words is fine, but this is the big part, the revelation part, okay, where she is in fact Jewish. You need to have that. All right. Whom does Edek beat with an iron bar? It's Ellie's father. Okay. His name's Marion, I believe. No, that's the son's name. My bad. I don't actually remember the dad's name. That's bad. His father's work. It worked. So. All right. What is Ellie's reaction to this? Like, he is mad, okay, at his dad. Like, he's actually mad at his dad. The reaction's a little bit different. At first, when he's seeing his father getting beaten, he's just like, man, why didn't I do something about that? Okay. This time he's actually ticked off, like, why you gotta draw attention to yourself, man? He's ticked off at his dad. Okay. How does this show a change in him? Again, it's kind of the same thing as last time. He sees himself being, like, institutionalized in this. Like, being institutionalized, what I mean by that is, like, he is literally, like, becoming a prisoner. Just like that guy that they met that was always in a bad mood. He's becoming that dude. Okay? What item did Frantic the foreman want from Ellie? Same thing, shoes. What inadequacy of Ellie's father did Frantic exploit to get what he wanted? Dude couldn't march in step. Okay? I don't know how somebody can't, like, left, right, left, right. I've seen some really uncoordinated people in my life. But if you can't, like, right, left, like, march and step, it's kind of bad. But Ellie's father can't do that. All right, how did the dentist from Warsaw pull? So again, like, these questions, how? I have to explain how. How is one of those adverb questions. Okay. So how did the dentist pull it? Okay, so the word that comes from that is pull. So the verb is what I'm affecting here. That's what I'm looking for. That's literally the answer to the question. Okay, but how did he do it? So you're explaining that. He pulled out his tooth with a rusty spoon. It's gross. Like, it's not sanitary. Like, I don't want nothing rusty today. When they're messing with my tooth today, I don't want no rusty stuff. That's gross. They're gonna get like tetanus or something. Again, a little bit of irony. All right, what is the irony of losing Ellie's tooth? What sucks is the guy that gets this, like the boss that takes it from him, they are exported. So he doesn't get anything good. Like, he gets a couple of, like, extra rations of soup or something. That's all he gets. He doesn't get anything for it. It sucks. This guy's shipped off to another camp. All right, and then what punishment did Ellie receive for catching Edith with the Polish girl? This is huge. Okay, this is huge. Kind of a biblical sort of illusion. If you don't know what an illusion is, okay, when something else is kind of represented in another piece of literature. Okay, so the lashes, the whipping, all that kind of stuff. The idea here, okay, is that there are several different places throughout history, whatever, in the Bible, Jesus is whipped. Okay, there are several people, like the cat of nine tails kind of stuff going out. But when someone is beaten, okay, it kind of sinks in, okay, in front of you. Okay, when somebody's beaten in front of you, kind of sinks in, kind of like, man, I don't want to do what that dude does. I like to get in trouble. So with Ellie, like, he is getting this done to himself after he's seen a couple of other people getting beaten. And I don't know, man, that's some tough stuff. I don't know. If you got a whooping at home, there's a whole lot of difference between a whooping at home and somebody, like, actually got a whip out and, like, beating you with it. Like your grandma get a switch. Well, I don't know how you guys were raised up, but my grandma could whoop some tail. But she would make you go get, like, a willow tree branch or something like that, like an actual stick, right? I was scared of my grandma. This ain't that. This is way worse. Like, actually, like, trying to physically hurt you. Okay, so 1, 2, 10, 11, and I'm reading from this, 24, 25. 25 lashes that's tough. Okay, we're talking about, like, cutting into his skin stuff. Like, he fainted. Okay, he fainted that he got beaten so bad that he fainted. Okay, wow. And remember why he does this. Okay, this guy beats him like that because he laughed. How quiet would you guys be if you knew that somebody would give you 25 beatings, okay, that like drew blood every time they hit you with it? Okay, just saying, you guys are the same age. Could happen. It's not gonna happen, but that'd be really scary. All right, so that's the punishment. That's a really tough thing. And just because he laughed. Not because he really sees what happened, but just because he laughed at it, he giggled. It's like, what you laughing at? Whips him almost to death. Okay? All right, so that's your questions. Make sure, turn this stuff in. Okay? Nothing's worse than failing a class where I literally give you the answers. Okay? If you have less than a perfect score, like, I'm talking like a 50, okay? If you have an F, I emailed your parents last night. I don't apologize for that. Like, I've done more work by emailing your parents than you have and not doing anything. So make sure you're doing your stuff. I give you the answers to every study guide. All you got to do is write incomplete sentences, or at least attempt a complete sentence. Okay? Now, what sucks is you can't go back and redo any of this stuff, like study guide wise, that is already due. Late work's over. I'm not doing that. This is high school. But you can take those tests. Okay, so make sure that you take those tests. You can still do that. If you got a 0 on a test or a quiz, you can go take that. Okay? So if it says that you have a 0 on the noun verb quiz, please go in, take the quiz. I'll put the grade in for you. If it's on the grammar pretest, that's 20 points. And you don't even have to score well on it. You just like answer one question and you get 20 test points. There are a couple of you that the only reason that you are passing is because of that grammar pretest, because it's worth so many points. All right? So if you have that and the noun quiz done, and all those zeros that you have, okay, on all of these study guides and all the rest of the stuff that we've done, you can literally still have a 60. I know because there's a student that's done that. Okay, they literally are passing with like a 60.25. I'm not going to name who you are, right? But they are passing the class just because they have those 2 tests in. That's the only things that they've done. They haven't turned anything else in. So, I'm trying to help you out, okay? If you literally just do stuff and turn it in, I will give you, like, you will pass. But if you sit there and do nothing, there's no way. Like, we take way too many grades, okay? You're going to have to count on doing really, really well on the tests. So, anyway, I'm going to stop griping at you. Have a good rest of the day. Make sure that you do those verb practice things that I put up. It's just a Khan Academy thing. You don't have to log in. You don't have to do any of that kind of stuff with it as far as making an account or whatever. But do the practice. It's going to show up if you don't. Quiz is still going to be tomorrow. It does go over all of the things about like what a verb is. And I know it's a little boring. It's a little kiddish, okay? But what a verb is, it does some practice questions for you. But go through all that, okay? It goes through the tenses and everything else. Let's do all of it. And you're going to have time. You might as well do that, okay? And study for that. And we'll have that tomorrow for Friday. Remember, Friday we don't have as much time, okay? All right. You guys have a good rest of the day, and make sure you turn in your work.